Good morning, everyone. A Brahmin saw the Buddha resting under a tree in meditation. The Brahmin was impressed with the Buddha's way. He asked, "Are you a god?" "No, Brahmin, I'm not a god." "Are you an angel?" "No," replied the Buddha. "You must be a spirit then?" "No, I'm not a spirit," said the Buddha. "Then what are you?" "I'm awake."
Please join me in saying the words to our covenant. In the love of truth and in the spirit of Jesus, we unite for the worship of God and the service of all.
Our poem this morning is I Hear America Singing by Walt Whitman. Unfortunately, consistent with 19th century American poetry, there's an awful lot of male-centered pronouns, for which I apologize in advance. I hear America singing, the varied carols I hear, those of mechanics, each one singing his as it should be, blithe and strong. The carpenter singing his as he measures his plank or beam. The mason singing his as he makes ready for work or leaves off work. The boatman singing what belongs to him in his boat. The deckhand singing on the steamboat deck. The shoemaker singing as he sits on his bench. The hatter singing as he stands. The woodcutter's song. The plowboy's on his way in the morning, or at noon intermission, or at sundown. The delicious singing of the mother, or of the young wife at work, or of the girl sewing or washing, each singing what belongs to him or her and to none else. The day, what belongs to the day. At night, the party of young fellows, robust, friendly, singing with open mouths their strong, melodious songs.
God, as we celebrate the birth of our nation and weather the seas of this pandemic, let us listen to the oppressed. Let us open our eyes and ears to listen with our heart and soul to our people. May we continue to listen and learn. Amen. Please remain muted and join me in saying a variation of the Lord's Prayer. O thou, whose kingdom is within, may all thy names be hallowed. May no one of them be turned against the others to divide those who address thee. May thy presence be made known to us in mercy, beauty, love, and justice. May thy kingdom come to be in the life of all humankind. May it come with peace, with sharing, and in a near time. Give us this day our daily bread, free from all envy and alienation, broken and blessed in the sharing. Keep us from trespass against others, and from the feeling that others are trespassing against us. Forgive us more than we have forgiven. Deliver us from being tempted by lesser things to be heedless of the one great thing, the gift of thyself in us. Amen. We will now have a brief silence followed by the instrumental prayer hymn.
Feel thou Lord, for I am with thee. Be not dismayed, for I am thy God, and I will strengthen thee. Yeah, I will help thee, and I will uphold you with the right hand of my righteousness. And I will uphold you with the right hand of my righteousness.
We appreciate your generosity so very much in this time. Please donate online at fplincoln.org/donate.
Set a fire down in my soul that I can't contain, I can't control. I want more of you, God. I need more of you, God. Set a fire down in my soul that I can't contain, I can't control. I want more of you, God. I need more of you, God. Set a fire down in my soul that I can't contain. I gotta have more of you. I need to have more of you.
I Too by Langston Hughes. I too sing America. I am the darker brother. They send me to eat in the kitchen when company comes. But I laugh and eat well and grow strong. Tomorrow, I'll be at the table when company comes. Nobody'll dare say to me, eat in the kitchen then. Besides, they'll see how beautiful I am and be ashamed. I too am America.
The Giver by James Baldwin. If the hope of giving is to love the living, the giver risks madness in the act of giving. Some such lesson I seemed to see in the faces that surrounded me. Needy and blind, unhopeful, unlifted. What gift would give them the gift to be gifted? The giver is no less adrift than those who are clamoring for the gift. If they cannot claim it, if it is not there, if their empty fingers beat the empty air, and the giver goes down on his knees in prayer, knows that all of his giving has been for naught, and that nothing was ever what he thought, and turns in his guilty bed to stare at the starving multitudes standing there, and rises from bed to curse at heaven, he must yet understand that to whom much is given, much will be taken, and justly so. I cannot tell how much I owe.
What Kind of Times Are These by Adrienne Rich. There's a place between two stands of trees where the grass grows uphill and the old revolutionary road breaks off into shadows. Near a meeting house, abandoned by the persecuted, who disappeared into those shadows. I've walked there picking mushrooms at the edge of dread. But don't be fooled, this isn't a Russian poem. This is not somewhere else, but here, our country, moving closer to its own truth and dread, its own ways of making people disappear. I won't tell you where the place is, the dark mesh of woods, meeting the unmarked strip of light, ghost-ridden crossroads, leaf mold paradise. I know already who wants to buy it, sell it, make it disappear. And I won't tell you where it is. So why do I tell you anything? Because you still listen. Because in times like these, to have you listen at all, it's necessary to talk about trees.
Caged Bird by Maya Angelou. A free bird leaps on the back of the wind and floats downstream till the current ends and dips his wing in the orange sun rays and dares to claim the sky. But a bird that stalks down his narrow cage can seldom see through his bars of rage. His wings are clipped and his feet are tied, so he opens his throat to sing. The caged bird sings with a fearful trill of things unknown but longed for still. And his tune is heard on the distant hill, for the caged bird sings of freedom. The free bird thinks of another breeze, and the trade wind soft through the sighing trees, and the fat worms waiting on a dawn-bright lawn, and he names the sky his own. But a caged bird stands on the grave of dreams. His shadow shouts on a nightmare scream. His wings are clipped and his feet are tied, so he opens his throat to sing. The caged bird sings with a fearful trill of things unknown but longed for still, and his tune is heard on the distant hill, for the caged bird sings of freedom.
On this day, July 5th, 1852, Frederick Douglass gave the speech, "What to the Slave is the 4th of July?" A speech addressing the Rochester Ladies Anti-Slavery Society. The nation had just turned 76 years old. I'll share some excerpts from the speech. The papers and placards say that I am to deliver a 4th of July oration. It is the birthday of your national independence and of your political freedom. The simple story of it is that 76 years ago, the people of this country were British subjects. You were the British crown. Feeling themselves harshly and unjustly treated by the home government, your fathers, like men of honesty and men of spirit, earnestly sought redress. Oppression makes a wise man mad. Your fathers were wise men. And if they did not go mad, they became restive under this treatment. They hate all changes but silver, gold, and copper change. Of this sort of change, they are always strongly in favor. The freedom gained is yours, and you, therefore, may properly celebrate this anniversary. Pride and patriotism, not less than gratitude, prompt you to celebrate and to hold in it perpetual remembrance. Cling to this day, cling to it, and to its principles with the grasp of a storm-tossed mariner to a spar at midnight. Fellow citizens, I am not wanting in respect for the fathers of this republic. The signers of the Declaration of Independence were brave men. He who will intelligently lay down his life for his country is a man whom it is not in human nature to despise. They were peacemen, but they preferred revolution to peaceful submission to bondage. They believed in order, but not the order of tyranny. I remember also that as people, Americans are remarkably familiar with all facts which make in their own favor. It is a fact that whatever makes for the wealth or for the reputation of Americans and can be had cheap will be found by Americans. But now is the time, the important time. Your fathers have lived, died, and have done their work, and have done much of it well. You live and must die, and you must do your work. You have no right to enjoy a child's share in the labor of your fathers, unless your children are to be blessed by your labors. Fellow citizens, pardon me. Allow me to ask, why am I called upon to speak here today? What have I, or those I represent, to do with your national independence? Are the great principles of political freedom and of natural justice embodied in that Declaration of Independence extended to us? I am not included within the pale of this glorious anniversary. Your high independence only reveals the immeasurable distance between us. The blessings in which you, this day, rejoice are not enjoyed in common. The rich inheritance of justice, liberty, prosperity, and independence bequeathed by your fathers is shared by you, not by me. The sunlight that brought life and healing to you has brought stripes and death to me. This 4th of July is yours, not mine. You may rejoice. I must mourn. Whether we turn to the declarations of the past or to the professions of the present, the conduct of the nation seems equally hideous and revolting. America is false to the past, false to the present, and solemnly binds herself to be false to the future. Standing with God and the crushed and bleeding slave on this occasion, I will, in the name of humanity, which is outraged, in the name of liberty, which is fettered, in the name of the Constitution and the Bible, which are disregarded and trampled upon, dare to call in question and to denounce, with all the emphasis I can command, everything that serves to perpetuate slavery, the great sin and shame of America. Would you have me argue that man is entitled to liberty? That he is the rightful owner of his body? You have already declared it. What to the American slave is your 4th of July? I answer, a day that reveals to him more than all other days in the year the gross injustice and cruelty to which he is the constant victim. There is not a nation on the earth guilty of practices more shocking and bloody than are the people of these United States at this very hour. At the very moment that they are thanking God for the enjoyment of civil and religious liberty, and for the right to worship God according to the dictates of their own consciences, they are utterly silent in respect to a law which robs religion of its chief significance and makes it utterly worthless to a world lying in wickedness. It esteems sacrifice above mercy, psalm singing above right doing, solemn meetings above practical righteousness, a worship that can be conducted by persons who refuse to give shelter to the houseless, to give bread to the hungry, clothing to the naked, and who enjoy in obedience to a law forbidding these acts of mercy, is a curse, not a blessing to mankind. It destroys your moral power abroad. It corrupts your politicians at home. It saps the foundation of religion. I do not despair of this country. No nation can now shut itself up from the surrounding world and trot round in the same old path of its fathers without interference. It makes its pathway over and under the sea, as well as on the earth. Wind, steam, and lightning are its chartered agents. Oceans no longer divide, but link nations together. The fiat of the Almighty, let there be light, has not yet spent its force. No abuse, no outrage, whether in taste, sport, or avarice, can now hide itself from the all-pervading light. Let us remember these words were spoken by Frederick Douglass in 1852, yet how true they still ring today.
Please join me in saying our call to ministry. We go forth from the worship of God, be faithful to the vision of Jesus, to affirm each person's dignity, and to cherish the living earth.
Lord, when you send the rain, think about it, please, a little. Do not get carried away by the sound of falling water, the marvelous light on the falling water. I am beneath that water. It falls with great force, and the light blinds me to the light.